there are people who believe email is going to stay and be sort of the communication channel. And I'm on the front of, very fun, I'm on the side of email's not going anywhere.
You don't own me. I'm not just one of your many toys. You don't own me. Don't say I can't go with other boys. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to say. Please, when I'm out with you, don't put me on display. You don't own me. Don't try to change me in any way. You don't own me. Don't tie me down, 'cause I never stay. I don't tell you what to say. I don't tell you what to do. So just let me be myself. That's all I have to do. I'm young and I love to be young. I'm free and I love to be free. To live my life the way I want. To say and do whatever I please. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to say. And please, when I go out with you, don't put me on display. I don't tell you what to say. Don't tell you what to do. So just let me be myself. That's all I do. I'm young and I love to be young. I'm free. When you're with feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I would rather I'm on your side. Oh, when time is rough and friends just can't be found, like a bridge over troubled water, I will lay me down like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard, I will come to you. I'll take your part. Oh, darkness comes, and pain is all around. Sail on, silver, sail on by. Your time has come to shine. All your dreams on the way. See how they shine. Oh, you need a friend. I'm saying goodbye.
Hey, Paula, how you doing?
Hey, how are you? I'm doing good.
Good. How's your shoulder doing?
It's off and on. Some days it's okay, and other days it drives me crazy. But I go back to the doctor next week, so I imagine he'll do an MRI to see where we're at on it by then. Yeah, one day at a time.
It'll get better.
Yeah,
It just takes a long
I'm
time.
just not setting and babying it either. So it seems like the more I do, the more it gets irritated, But you set and baby them, then and it's going to drive you crazy all the time. You have to use them.
Do they have you doing exercises yet?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I remember when they said that I couldn't lift more than 5 pounds, and I laughed so hard. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Right. That's like almost impossible, to do. Yeah. So, I'm going to do what I feel like doing and stuff that's not going to be abusive, to myself, but I know my limitations too. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
So what do you think about what's going on? Isn't it crazy?
Oh my God. I'm telling you, it's just, I'm not surprised at all about what's going on with the R's at all, with the stuff that's going on. But what I don't understand is, if they have lawyers working on this, why do they have to send all this stuff to the police departments and all over the country?
Well, did you take a good look at? You're talking about the Alice Cooper video.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did you take a good look at what she was reading?
Yeah. That was so scripted, and they talk about everybody else having a script. No, you're got the script. Yeah.
What she said was sent to a bunch of police departments. It was just nothing but the charge codes.
Right. And then the thing got me. She said, "Well, if there's anything else, SR, that I forgot or you want me to touch base on, let me know." That told me right there. Yeah.
Right after he was saying crap about Cindy Watts and how people are trying to be buddy with the Watts family.
And it's her fault about everything, all about the medicine thing, all about being controlling. Everything's they didn't go to the birthday party. They didn't go to they don't go to the cemetery. Nobody's stopping them. Those people are going to get hounded of their life because of all of this stuff that goes on, just like it's going on right now. I mean, it's just people that are totally backing them. They're going to go around and they're going to make sure that the Watts never have a minute's peace, and they're not bothering anybody. I don't get that,
I think one interesting thing to notice is that I think interest in the case was dying down again. And it seems like every time interest in the case starts to die down again, then all of a sudden somebody like an Alice hops right up there to make it look like everyone's talking about it.
Right. Well, surprisingly, a lot of people aren't discussing it, Very few people actually discussing the case right now, as far as I can tell. They've moved on to other cases and other things that's going on, you know? They're just not.
Exactly. So, and I don't know if you noticed, but the part of her video that I watched, while she was complaining about people making money off the case, she was getting super chats one right after another.
Right. And the thing about it is, I wonder how much did she rake in? And, you know, not every channel, every creator, you don't ask for a dime. You know, you discourage people from giving you anything. And
yeah, we don't allow it on YouTube. And then if people want to join Patreon, then pretty much they can listen to, you know, boring videos. It's not like I don't say, okay, now everyone, see you later. Let's all go to the, you know, it's not like that at all. It's like YouTube is free.
right, or membership every month, you know, you got to pay a membership fee every month and blah this and blah that. I mean, but she made it sound totally like everybody out here they're doing it because they're making money off the case, and that's just not so. That's just not true at all. You know, some people.
And the hilarious part of it is she was getting one super chat after another, like $50, $20, you know. She's raking it in by talking about other people raking it in. So it's kind of funny.
Well, she needs it so she can go on that Las Vegas trip where everybody's planning on meeting up. You know, they're going to have a meet and greet, something like, you know, there.
Oh, brother.
Some of her mods and stuff. Yeah. I wonder if SR will show up there too. You know, wouldn't surprise me.
Who do you think was behind taking down Natasha's channel?
I think, actually, I think she probably did that to herself.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
Really?
I really do. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that she, the way she's been pretty abusive to a lot of people, I think verbally abusive. And look, and you know, right now, the way I understand, she's not supposed to be going on anybody's platform at all, on any other creator's platform, and on any lives at all. And she's been doing that nonstop.
Well, but think about that. That's what a lot of the scumbag attacker channels are saying.
Right.
But would that make sense?
Well, they're saying it's YouTube's when you're suspended like that, all your channels are suspended. And if you're trying to get them reinstated or something, that's a stipulation. Now, I don't know. You've had your channels taken out. I don't know. I've just noticed that's what a lot of people are saying, you know.
And also, yeah, a lot of them are saying that her channels are suspended. I think she's even saying that, but I'm not sure. But they don't just run around suspending a bunch of channels either. They either close you down or they don't. And then they let you appeal.
Well, and supposedly she's got a lawyer that's one of her subscribers or a mod or something on there, and told her it was all right for her to go ahead and go on other creators' lives and stuff. I don't know. This is getting deep. It's getting deep.
Well, think about it though. Think about who you're hearing it from, who are all reciting the same thing, that she isn't allowed to speak on a channel.
Right.
Let's see. Maybe we can find it here. They're saying other stuff too that I think really, it's interesting. They're all saying the same stuff, you know.
Well, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if some of these channels weren't behind. Probably filed some strikes on her, if the truth be known. The ones that she thinks backing her, you know, they're probably stabbing her in the back. The truth be known about that. But she has done a lot of damage herself, you know, because she said they'll never take me down and I'll never have to go through that. Well, yeah, she has. And I think you even warned her, didn't you? I remember not to trust too many people, you know.
You're bleeping in and out a little bit. What'd you say?
Oh, I said, I think even you kind of let her know that a lot of the attackers would pull this on. Eventually, they try to get her shut down, didn't you? Yeah.
Exactly. But my message to her is that she's trusting people who she shouldn't be trusting. Okay, if it's true that her channels got taken down, right?
Right.
She's probably going to be thinking that it's all the people who are making their celebration videos, but I'm not so sure it's them. I think that she needs to look more closely at the people she's trusting.
That's what I said maybe when I cut out. That I think it's some of the people that's right there amongst her that's supporting her, supposedly, that may be stabbing her in the back, you know.
Exactly,
Hmm.
because I think what they want to take down, who they want to take down, if it's true that her channels were taken down, are the people who they can't control.
Right.
Or maybe even competition, right?
That could
Maybe
be
both.
too, you know, that could be. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's been trusting the wrong people for too long. And
A
they
lot of
finally,
her mods, you know, left and they're on some of these other channels. So um there's just a lot of stuff that's questionable, you know. There is.
yeah, it is. It all just makes you wonder because we see the same patterns playing out over and over again.
Right, exactly. It's repeating itself over and over and over. Yeah.
I thought it was
Hmm.
interesting to hear the narrative, though.
Yeah.
You heard it. We haven't heard it lately, anyway. I did write down.
Uh-huh.
Oops, there it is. Okay, it almost disappeared. I wrote down that sentence you were talking about. She said, "So I don't know, Sandy, do you want me? Is there anything that I missed that you want out there? Let me know."
Yeah. Right.
Like, really? Oh
Hmm.
my goodness. And she wants to say that Cindy Watts has people working for her? Really?
Right. hmm It's all a smear campaign against Cindy right now, is what it is.
Yeah,
And
and it's like
yeah.
somebody really, really thinks it's cool to be hating on Cindy Watts, and it isn't cool, and people are sick of it.
Well, you know, maybe Cindy Watts knows something and they're afraid of that. I
I think,
definitely think
yeah,
that they're afraid of the truth coming out because every time you get close to anything, this stuff starts up. You know, you find out or you discover new things. And hey, look, a lot of things that was talked about are things that we've discussed right here in these lives. Exactly. So yeah, they watch everything. You know, they do. They have spies all over. Hmm.
I want to read the part that she said about the avocado.
Oh,
She
okay,
said,
that was good.
I was sent screenshots from a certain advocate who has the mouth of a sailor, who is so far removed from the person exactly you might know of a certain advocate who tried to get close to the family. Tried to get close to the family?
Hmm.
According to that advocate, she was working for the family. According to that advocate and according to her videos, the family was right in her chat, congratulating her, cheering her on. She wasn't trying to get close to the family. She evidently was, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was, and they were in the chat, and they were contacting her personally behind the scenes on calls and stuff. That's true. That's very true. They were. I know. I was there. I know what was going on. Yeah. And even after
So,
I went in the hospital, they continued to. And when I got out and I hadn't watched any, I noticed that that's when they all three went on the screen, you know, and come on there for her, and even told her, well, she could. I mean, SR even said, well, you can be my daughter anytime you want to. Oh, yeah, she was deep into it with them. Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't she was trying to get close to them. I mean, she would get right up there and say she was actually working for them.
That's true.
And they would substantiate it, in my opinion, by being in their in the comment threads applauding her and thanking her and saying all,
Yeah, they were just hooting it right along with her, you know, getting her riled up and getting her going, you know. People tried to tell her not to do that, but that's the direction she wanted to go, and look where it's got her, you know. No place. Hmm.
and then she's saying that it isn't peanuts, it's tree nuts.
Well,
Did
I've heard
did you
both of them say, I've heard in the letters and in different places, it's been referred to as tree nuts and peanuts. But the whole thing about that is in some factories where tree nuts are processed, peanuts are also processed there also. in certain things. So,
And then she
and
says, why didn't they go to Cece's birthday party? I guess if you're going to be abused by your daughter-in-law, then maybe you think it's better for the kids, maybe, if you don't show up so the daughter-in-law can go ballistic again? I don't know.
well, I don't even, that's one point, but if my daughter-in-law accused me of trying to kill one of my grandkids, I wouldn't want to show up at a birthday party anyway. You know, that's
I
what
thought
she
it was,
implied. Yeah,
I thought it was interesting, the things that she listed about what the channels are saying about the case. You know, she talked about the nuts, she talked about the birthday party, she talked about the cemetery. Why didn't she talk about Munchausen by proxy? Why didn't she talk about the fact that Christopher Watt's wife told a couple of people at least that she didn't have lupus, right?
right.
Why didn't she list off the things that we're actually talking about, you know?
Well, why hasn't she answered one thing? Why has she not told anybody why she asked NA to check the knives? It was
Exactly.
her. It wasn't Cindy. It was her that started this whole thing where people started looking deeper into things, right? I mean, by some of the things she said and did, even in her letter, and in the interviews with Junior and Senior both, it was a direct bashing of the Watts from the beginning. It's been that way from the very beginning. Why? Why?
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just seems kind of interesting, I think, that it appears over the last 3.5 years that the family aligns themselves with certain channel creators, and then people like Alice sit there and act like they never did. But they
Right.
did. They did. And I think people have noticed. And I
Well,
personally,
you know that they went over there. The R's went over there right after they left the avocados. Right. They started hanging out over on Alice's channel. Remember?
I didn't realize that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, right after that, and they were probably hanging out anyway and had stuff going on, but they didn't put it right out there, you know, in the open so much. But right after that, they were slam dunk. All of them over there, you know. Yeah.
Well, I remember when one of them posted a terrible comment on a Scumbag Attackers channel who posted my employer information and told thousands of people to contact my employer.
Of course.
And his
Mhm.
comment was a pinned comment, of course, and it was terrible. It was just ridiculous. And the video at the end of it was rather threatening, even worse would, you know, be soon to come and everything. And
Right.
there, Christopher Watt's brother-in-law was on the pinned comment, you know, applauding the channel creator. So, you know, sorry guys, I don't get it how people can buy into the bullshit that Cindy Watts is trying to cause any kind of trouble when you have Christopher Watt's own in-laws applauding channel creators who post threatening material, who
Mhm.
post doxing, who post lies, who post slander and defamation. And they're sitting there congratulating them. Look at that first video that the avocado did. I'm coming for you, Mensa.
Oh, I know. I keep thinking about that. Yeah. Well, it
And
wasn't
they,
just then. She did several of them. You know, she put that
yeah,
in there. Yeah.
she's great. And then now one of their other favorites is getting yelled at, evidently, by one of their favorites from before. It's like, what a circus.
It is.
And you don't see Cindy Watts doing any of this stuff, and yet they make videos and claim that Cindy Watts is doing stuff like this.
Well, and another part was that really disgusted me was Cindy Watts got on there and made her son out to be like he was this perfect boy growing up, and they never had any problems. And he did this and he did that. I believe he did. I believe he was in sports. I believe he was probably a pretty good kid in school. I believe he didn't give his parents trouble. I believe it.
Yeah, I believe his life was perfect before he met his wife.
But supposedly, according to them, that we need to just face it that he was wearing a disguise all this time. No, I don't think so. I do not believe that for 1 minute. I just don't.
I think that it's pretty telling that he set goals as a young man. He achieved his goals. He worked hard. He had an actual job. He had an actual paycheck. I think it's all pretty telling. And compare the two. It was not his lucky day when he met her.
Right.
I think Cindy Watts was very spot on to have a gut feeling that something wasn't right.
And another thing they said to leave that everybody's out there still trying to go with the NK theory. No, there's people out here that's not gone along with it from the beginning, that didn't believe it. From the beginning, that she had anything at all to do with it. She was just, I think, a summer fling, and that was it. I really do. I don't think there was,
Right.
Right.
And I think if people have actually researched the case, they know that NK didn't have anything to do with it. I think it's the channels that are being used to, be the distraction or whatever, who are still running with the NK stuff.
But then they want to go back to what he did it all by himself. And he took him, he didn't just, he killed him. He took him out there. He put him, the girls in the oil tank. He put his wife in a shallow grave. Wait a minute. I thought he had carpal tunnel, and that's the reason why he quit being a mechanic. So how's his hands so strong all at once to do all this stuff miraculously by himself in that little time? See, they're not making sense in even what they're saying at all.
And remember, the dogs didn't hit on his truck either.
Right, exactly. There's a lot of things, but they don't even think about, and there's been nothing said about why she said that she saved CW's life. He never, according to his mom, she didn't know anything about him having any kind of cancer, at all.
I don't think he knew about it either.
Nah. Nope.
No, the list of lies, it just seems to keep getting longer.
Yeah, and it seems like the more they go on, the more they want to put this back that it's the Watts' fault. I don't get that. I just don't understand why it's their fault, why they think it's their fault. I don't see them out here. They're not out here running from channel to channel doing things and making videos and having channel creators read letters off and information off. And I mean, Alice was even implying, she even made up a story as she went along about, well, this is how he did this and this is how he did that. And he was really like this. She was really trying to get people to buy this little story she was saying about him and the story of what went on. I mean, she was trying to make it out to be factual, but it was what she thought, there was nothing factual about it.
Right. I did agree with one thing that she said about some of the weirdos, that maybe they were cheated on and they have this rage that's unresolved.
Yeah, I can understand that. And I will agree about that too. Yes. And I will agree that there's some women that are very controlling and they have the upper hand in their marriages and stuff. But what was the big deal about bringing up that they wanted to make a point that SW ordered Chris Watts food for him and stuff? They're basing that off. That stuff's coming off of that Netflix series.
Yeah,
that isn't.
Yeah, I don't think she knows it. Yeah, I don't think she knows it. I think she was trying to say that was it, or was that from that one docudrama? I don't know.
No, it was in there on that because it shows him sitting in a restaurant at a table, and it shows him ordering something, and then SW says, "No, I want this, and we'll both have that." And she tells him, "You don't need that. We need to eat this chicken dish or something." I remember that. Yeah, it was in the Netflix thing.
Netflix?
Yeah,
yeah. It was a different one.
Yeah,
Interesting.
It was in there. Yeah, and that's what alarms started going off when I heard that, because she's got some of her information misconstrued. So if I don't know, maybe SR's losing track of their own misleading stuff and lies and stuff.
Well, it sure seems that as much as Alice claims that she knows the case, she says she doesn't have to read notes because she knows the case. It sure seems she would have gotten that detail straight.
Yeah. Well,
Miss CD said laughed when Alice said that CW was only concerned about himself his whole life. What a crack.
Oh my gosh, yeah. No, his focus was on his children and trying to please her, and I think keep her as calm as he possibly could after he found out who she really was, you know. Yeah.
Does anyone know where Natasha is right now? We should go get Natasha and have her come up here and explain to us what she thinks is going on.
I have no idea where she's at. I know she's been over on the avocado. She's been over on surviving the storms. She was on Facebook doing Facebook lives too, they said, but I haven't seen her anyplace other than there. You know,
I saw one little blip. It was really a nice little video, but it sounded really sad. I think it's called The Natasha Cooper. Let me see if I can find it here. I'll put a message on it if I can find it. I'll put a message in the comments saying hop up on our panel and tell us what the heck's going on.
Yeah.
I think it's called The Natasha Cooper.
But I don't know. To me, I just seemed like she thought too much about that this couldn't happen to her. Is what a little bit of what I was trying to say. She kind of brought this because sometimes I think you get a big head and think that it can't happen, and it does happen. You know, they do come for you.
Okay, it says the title of the video is Coattail Riding Creators. And then she has a lot of good sayings in there.
Oh.
I'll put a message here and say, maybe she'll see it. Hey, Natasha, hop up on our panel and tell us what the H is going on if you want. I just put we're live chatting right now.
And I also seen a thing where now they're trying to take her daughter's channel down too, that she sells the makeup and stuff on. Somebody was saying something about they were trying to take her channel down too. Because her mom was helping her out on that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like the way they attack her daughter. That isn't right at all.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's getting out of hand. It really is.
Well, you know, it's the same stuff that's been going on, though. I just watched a couple minutes of the Crafton and Kim one, and Kim was just all upset. And I'm not sure, you might know this, I'm not sure, someone in chat might know the answer to this, but Kim seems to really hate that DeLorean lady. Is that Crafton's ex-wife?
I don't know anything about that Kim and Crafton. I never watched them. I don't know anything about them. Nothing.
Well, she's going up on the DeLorean because the DeLorean is evidently, I don't know what's going on because I don't know half of those people. But
I don't know the DeLorean either. I don't know nothing about her.
That Granny's watching lady, evidently, you know, she's someone who Crafton and Kim like, and the DeLorean is someone who they just sound like they are just seething with hatred against her. So I'm wondering if maybe she's his ex-wife. I don't know. But
I don't know. I don't listen to Granny. That Granny's watching either. I don't listen to her.
Yeah, I don't listen to her either. But evidently the DeLorean sent some kind of BS whatever to the other one, and it was something about one of their daughters or something, a teenager. And Kim is going on and on and on about how never before, you know, never before, like this isn't right, and all this crap. And I'm just like, really? Where have you been? I mean, are you kidding me? What about posting my grandchildren's daycare center with directions on how to get there?
Yeah. You know, the only thing I know about them, about that Kim and Crafton, was something about, she had said something about he had a real bad seizure or something, and it caused him, he was going to have to be in the hospital or something, and they got a bunch of super chats and all this stuff, and come to find out he was arrested for domestic violence and was in jail. What? Yeah.
Wasn't it something about a seizure?
Yeah, but they're saying that he really didn't have that. That he was she was saying that he was in the hospital and not able to do stuff because he'd had a seizure and it would have, I don't know, it done something to him. And then people got to finding out that he was arrested that night for domestic violence. So, I don't know. That's all I know about that. I don't know what's true,
I
false, or nothing. That's all I know.
don't know enough I listened for a little bit, but then, usually someone will hop in there that I think, oh, brother, they are friends with that person. Oh, brother.
Yeah.
So I don't stick around long. If they would do true crime, I would like their channel.
And I think, Natasha, I think her true crime channel got took down too. I don't think it's up either.
That's too bad because she does a good job with true crime cases.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what happened, but, they went after her hard. I don't know exactly what all. And she said it looked like she wasn't going to get her channels back. And then I heard she was in 7 days. And then it keeps changing. I don't know what's going on. I don't really know.
That one where I just left a message, that looks like it's a channel of hers. So she'll
Oh,
be up
really?
and running. Yeah, it's called The Natasha Cooper.
Oh, so it's still up?
It's probably brand new. I don't know. Let me look here. I'll click on this. Yeah, 842 subscribers.
Oh,
But
I don't know
she'll
about that one.
Yeah, she'll probably be up and running in no time because people will sign up to hear her talk fast.
Yeah.
She has 3 channels or three videos on it.
Oh.
One is called Sad, the one with the really cool sayings on it. Let's see when she opened with. April 23rd, 2022. So,
Yeah.
she'll get a ton of followers right away.
Yeah.
In fact, let me see if I can click on that again. I'll put her
Well,
link in the.
I know her email and her phone number used to be up on all of her channels as being the actual ones, So she's supposed to be easy to get a hold of.
There's her new channel, you guys. I just put it in the chat. That's her new channel. Okay, the real C word of. Oh, this will be interesting. Hi, ladies. I am doing my best to listen to all of the marathons. My question is, and I'm sorry, it has already been answered, is what was in those Thrive patches? And why has their, THEIR, not been a product liability attorney come forward, blah, 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 blah. Oh, she just posted, I am real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really? Okay. Whatever.
You and I have both seen the patterns.
Yeah, especially when they don't know which way to spell what. Yeah, okay. That nice try though.
I know. We're so over it.
Yeah.
We're so over it.
They keep trying though. You got to give them credit for that. They keep trying. Oh gosh.
Oh my goodness. I dropped the link and nobody's hopping up, you notice.
I wonder what about Samantha? She said that she doesn't have her baby this week or something, and I thought she said her accent would probably keep people from under, but I don't know. I understand a lot of people's accents, believe it or not. So
yeah, I saw her comment. That'd be cool if she can hop on.
Yeah, or anybody. I mean, Brooks or anybody. I think Brooks has been on here before. I'd like to know what other people think about all this.
Yeah, same here. It's good to hear other
And
people's.
this suddenly coming up with Alice over there and SR having her post that stuff, and I don't know. It just sounds like they're getting desperate to me.
I think people were talking less and less about the case, and I think they just seem to want to. People like Alice just, I mean, look at the super chats she was getting,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just reading the chat.
Yeah, this lady, she's got a pretty good name there. Yeah, kudos for that. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Jeanette, come on the panel. Come on up. Let's get some talkers up here.
Really, we need some fresh faces up here.
Yeah, well, the real
I need some younger people's opinions on this stuff.
yeah,
Maybe
seriously.
maybe I'm seeing too much into things, but I don't think so. But it's possible.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it just all makes sense.
Yeah.
Paul says MM was onto something, that SW didn't have a vitamin patch on that morning. You're darn tootin',
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah.
Only 20 minutes and every day that she didn't have her patch on. Okay, here comes the real C of wherever. I'm not going to put you up there just yet because your camera's going toward like a window or something. Do you have a face? Do you have a face? Can you hear me? Yeah, I see your window. That's a nice window. I don't have you up on the screen or on the panel or whatever. Mom says SR is going with Alice on vacation.
I think so. Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's your face. I see your face. Do you have a picture you want to put up? Because you look shy showing us your window. If you have a picture on your phone or on your computer, then just you can edit your avatar and just put a picture up, honey.
Yeah, I figured they're all going to meet up in Las Vegas. It kind of sounded like they were going for that. Yeah. I know there's several ones that was in the chat that are saying they're going.
Yeah, well, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. She was saying something in her video that one of the channel creators is going to Serby.
I don't know about that. I didn't get that far. I was getting pretty fed up with listening to it, if you want to know the truth. They just keep bashing Cindy, and I get tired of it.
Christy says, I am more annoyed that all of a sudden Dave is talking about MVP. I think it's good that he's talking about it, though, Christy. Because he believes that, right? So he should be talking about what he thinks.
Does Christy know he come over here and got on the panel?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think she was here that night. Yeah. Well, I think y'all kind of had a halfway truth that he won't call you a bitch and you won't call him dipshit, right?
I laughed so hard.
That
was funny.
Yeah, that was something. Yeah, you had him going.
That was funny. He's like, yeah, we stick with the facts. I'm like, okay, well, here are a few facts for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think how Alice was trying to make it sound like the Benadryl thing is just a boo-hoo,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, but if they scrub enough, then they can probably try to rewrite it from time to time.
Okay. I see what the lady that's supposed to want to come up saying. It's online bullies. Okay. Oh, okay.
We'll see if you put a picture on or put anything on, like just a picture of a cat or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be anything. You can put a star up there or a water fountain. It don't matter what it is. You can put an animal she works with animals, maybe just put an animal picture up there, anything.
Yeah. Yeah, because we don't do the cameras flying all over the place thing.
Yeah.
then everybody in the live chat will think they have vertigo suddenly.
Yeah.
Meeser Mom
Wait.
says she is afraid they'll be found, so speak about going to Vegas.
Oh,
Well, I highly doubt she's afraid of much. I think a big party in Vegas, they're not going to worry about anything like that.
yeah. You know, I don't know very many people personally that can afford to go, but if they can, go right ahead, you know. Las Vegas isn't cheap, I understand. I've never been there, but
Vegas, you can have a really fun vacation for not very much money.
oh really?
Yeah.
I never went. I've never been there, so
I've only been there once. That tells you how much I like it.
yeah.
You know, before I went to Vegas, it was always like everyone talked about how it was so fun to go to Vegas, woohoo, Vegas, and everything. I thought it was so. I like. I didn't. The part that I like, couple of things, because we went to a couple shows and stuff. The Blue Man Group.
Mm.
That was one of the shows that we went to. That was really fun to see. And then one night we went to downtown Vegas to the old section because we had a hotel room on the strip, but we took a taxi down to downtown. That is something I really enjoyed about the trip, was going to downtown Vegas. That was cool.
Well, now my daughter and son-in-law went years ago, but she said, yeah, they enjoyed going to a few of the shows and stuff. But she said mostly, if you're out walk, the only thing they're wanting to do, there's just people out there getting drunk all over and stuff, you know. Late at night, that seems to be what's going on, you know. So
yeah, I wasn't impressed, and everyone talks about how the food's so good, and you get all these big brunches and all this stuff, and the food didn't impress me. We had some nice dinners, let me tell you. One dinner was really good. But really, that's the only one that stands out that I think that was a really good dinner.
She said they had one seafood buffet thing that was really good, and it had steak and seafood on it. And then she said the one of the breakfast brunch things there where they were staying was really nice too. But the rest of it wasn't so much, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of. I think that whoever promotes Vegas, I think they're really good at marketing.
I think it's kind of like New Orleans and, you know, and Louisiana during Mardi Gras and stuff. I think that's all, you know, most of that's just partying and drinking and dressing up and doing all that stuff. That's really all that is. It's way over dramatized about what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, party time.
Yeah,
hey,
Party City.
How are you doing, the Real C?
Good. Did you see my taco picture there? How about that? Tacos.
Perfect.
That's fine. Yeah, it's cute. Yeah.
And no, I'm a long-time listener, huge fan. I promise I'm not one of the shiners. What's the story? Why do you call them shiners?
We don't call them shiners. They call themselves shiners.
Oh. Yeah.
They try to pretend people are calling them names, but they actually created the name themselves.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just, like, for me, I'm a mom of 6, and I couldn't afford daycare. So it's like I always worked and switched shifts with my husband, you know, so we'd switch off because we couldn't afford daycare. So when I saw her saying she was a stay-at-home mom, she's got her kids in daycare, I said something about it. I'm like, it's not the point of a stay-at-home mom to pay for a daycare.
Exactly.
And I got shredded for like attacking a dead woman. And I'm like, okay, no one can understand this case. It doesn't make sense. 1 and 1 do not equal 2 here. Okay. This is your perfect American family all over anything. It doesn't make sense. So why are we not trying to figure out how it makes sense so it doesn't happen again? That's my problem here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and the fact that you would have been attacked for simply stating the obvious too. That's the problem with this case, because when you can discuss any other true crime case and nobody's attacking you at all, and rightly so. So who has the balls or the nerve or the audacity to attack you for pointing out the obvious?
That's my thing. And like, you know, I don't
so I backed off. I never said anything again. And then I started finding your channel, and I really find it refreshing because, number one, I'm a law school dropout. So I have I'm a huge fan of you, being a real life lawyer and all that good stuff. So I love your insight and your knowledge base. And I love,
I'm actually a real life mediator. I'm a domestic relations mediator.
Well, I really like how you, and one of the things you talked about, character trait reassignment theory.
Yep.
Okay, so what if we applied that? What if we took that theory? So the way that Shanann was in the beginning and how she pushed him out the door and basically broke him down. What if ultimately over the years that character assignment theory went onto him, in addition with his, I believe, probable Asperger's, as you guys have said? What if he had those traits and that, and he just couldn't function anymore? I mean, I know that, I don't know what happened that day. I don't know how everything broke down that day or those 2 days. But what if it's all true? What if he did do that? But what if it's also true that she drove him over the frickin' edge by bullying him and being the narcissistic abuser, and the character trait assignment theory worked? What if all of that happened? What if it's all true? What if both what you're saying and what the others are saying are all true?
Well, I think if it's true that he killed everybody, then I think there are a lot of unanswered questions. How did he transport the bodies?
Yeah. That's what I can't get over. And I mean, in this day and age with everything we can find out, I mean, I had a flat tire today and I was going to the grocery store. I had a neighbor over at my house within 15 minutes, 2 other neighbors calling, asking if I was okay. I went down the frickin' block and turned around. That's what I'm saying, is like, I live in suburbia. I have all these eyes on me for a frickin' flat tire. Okay.
So
Yeah.
You know what's going to be on the neighborhood chat tonight.
Well, these people in her neighborhood, half of them didn't even know who she was and didn't even know they had kids. So,
Well,
yeah.
because she kept them inside. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, like, I mean, that one picture you have on one of the chats where it has CW's mom, and there's the side profile of Bella, and her hair, she doesn't look like a little girl.
Nope.
And in the autopsy, both of the girls' hair measured like 15 centimeters. Was that the length of her 2 fingers when she'd grab it to cut each of their hair? Because why do 2 different girls, 2 different ages, have the same length of hair? It's not normal.
Yeah, and their weight was pretty close too, for the difference of ages.
Right. Yeah. She was trying to act like they're twins and whatnot. No, they're 2 totally separate kids. You had them a year and a half apart. You're okay. Okay. I gave birth to my 3 youngest in 363 days. Okay. I had twins and 1. And did I have any family help me? No. I was repeatedly hospitalized for exhaustion, in fact, because I had nobody freaking helping me or living in the basement or anything. I did it, and I never played daycare. So I don't understand why.
Living in the basement.
I mean, what is that?
Right.
What?
Who puts their parents in a basement? Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, who was in the basement? And where'd they go? Yeah. And my thing is,
if one of your children as an adult was mentally ill and her husband found out after he married her that she was severely mentally ill, and you really wanted him to not leave the marriage, I don't know, maybe moving into the basement was a way of helping him stay.
It could be. It absolutely could be, but why hide it? Why hide it? Why are all of these secrets there?
It's a taboo subject.
And when you put your life on camera, like she did, then go and be that beacon of hope for mental illness too. Don't give half the story, because
I think the only reason she was on camera was due to a mental illness.
Yeah, I do too.
I think that was like her babysitter.
Yeah, I do too. My channel chronicles a narcissist who uses people and animals, as props to get YouTube views. And it's the same thing. She cannot hold a conversation with a person. So she always goes around with this camera everywhere, in restaurants, everywhere, says the same dialogue over and over. Huge into the MLMs. The MLMs is this huge addiction for them, because right away they can be told that they're stars and they can go around telling people they're directors and whatnot, just for them maxing out their credit cards. You didn't do anything. You put in your freaking credit card. Okay. So what? And that's my thing too, because people are like, oh, well, she earned enough to get a Lexus. No, she bought enough product each month to
She
be
didn't
able to
even.
subsidize it.
No. That car was a leased vehicle in Christopher Watt's name.
What? So none of that is
Okay,
true?
everyone in chat is talking about that JP. He just put out a video called "The Pie in the Face." Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm in shock about.
Sorry,
So
I
that
didn't
was
mean
not
to.
true. That was not one of the vehicles she could have gotten from the company.
Do you think she ever made a penny?
No, because that's the thing, is that you have to get customers. And I never saw a real live customer of hers. Like, she was always saying she's so busy and she's recruiting and she's doing that. But where are the people? Where are they? Because when that product was popular, several of my friends sold it, and they would have other people that they're tagging. And then they're all like together, like, oh yeah, we're all, I don't want to say the company name, but we're all blah, blah, blah together. They're doing this together. And I never saw anybody like on her page saying, thank you for the product. It's really enhanced my life. Like, I never saw any customers. And I didn't see her going to vendor events. Nothing.
Exactly. And that weekend that they call a business trip, that was a sales seminar.
Okay. So she had to pay for the airline. She had to pay for the airline, everything, right?
Well, and the storyline is that she traveled all the time. No, she didn't.
Right.
She didn't travel all the time. I just pulled up Justin's video that he posted today. It's titled "Pie in the Face Reaction Video." Do you guys want to hear it?
Yeah.
Click back here. What do you guys think? I don't think he would strike us, do you? Paula. Here's Rebecca Hunt. And we lost Paula. And we lost Rebecca. Okay, here's the link again, you guys. Dang. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play just part of it because I don't want to play the whole thing where he'll go, she's playing my video. Let's see here. Okay, he's doing his prayer thing and his salute.
Before I play this reaction video, I want to let y'all know that I'm a slow country bumpkin. I'm trying to figure out technology on the fly. I just used a new app, and I'm pretty sure I used it very incorrectly.
Okay, let's get to the good stuff here. It's doing that circle button.
Different things that they want to keep under wraps. And the reason is because they want to control the narrative, in my opinion, to keep that money flowing. But why not keep the money flowing by being genuine and real and truthful? Because that can still happen too. Because regardless, at the end of the day, you lost your daughter and your granddaughters.
Yep.
Sympathize. They will still donate to your cause. They'll watch your channel. They'll watch you teach us how to cook. You'll still make money.
Yeah.
But it seems like they're afraid of something getting out. Now, I'm trying to get to the bottom of that. As our most. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play this video. And once again, I dropped out of high school in the 9th grade and I got a GED. In the South, we call a GED a good enough diploma. I don't know what y'all call it around the country or in the UK or Australia. And big shout out to UK, Australia, and everybody outside this country that watches me. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. But here in the South, It's where you can sit down for about 3 hours, take a test, and they tell you you have the equivalent of a high school diploma. And actually, when they give it to you, it just says high school diploma. I got it at 16 years old. So, in essence, I had a high school diploma before a lot of other people that were still in high school. And it's probably unfair. The test was quite easy. I don't know how easy it is these days, but it was not difficult. All right, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And I apologize once again for the quality of this reaction, and I'll try to get better in the future. Much love to all y'all. Thank you.
All right. And David, hit it. Come on.
Now, as we can all see, Chris is once again the one that's actually participating in the game. He's actually spending quality time with his children, like a father or a mother should do. And once again, Shanann is behind the screen, luring everybody around while her mother cackles away. For someone who refers to people as demons, don't you think it's a little demonic to be a chain smoker to the point where people can't even recognize your voice?
See, I don't agree. Hold on, let me interrupt you for a second. I don't agree with that. I don't think, like, we don't know why. How am I trying to say this? And it's not just him or his channel, but
Yeah.
like, you know how on our channel we use initials and how we just kind of avoid certain topics and all?
Yeah.
And I didn't know that she called him demonic. I didn't know that. But so I guess, okay, if he wants to say, I don't like it that she called him, you know, that's one thing. But to like mock her laughter and stuff, I don't go with that.
Yeah.
I just don't. Am I wrong? I don't know. It's like, I mean, especially.
Any of it. She bullied those kids. She bullied him. She emasculated him. And sat there and bragged about it. Like, oh, I'm putting this makeup on my face, and I can put it on his face too. Bring me some wine. Who does that? Why don't I go try that with my husband? See how well that works out. Say that I'm going to go put makeup on his face and have him bring me a wine. I don't think I could treat anybody like that.
Well, it's called respect. It's called respect for your spouse, you know?
Yeah.
Well, but even just with what I was saying about the whole thing of mocking somebody's laughter.
Yeah. I don't know if that's appropriate, but, you know, I don't.
feel like with the whole age thing, I think maybe my age is what my perspective is about, because he's a young guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, not this before about the scumbag attackers. It's like, how on earth does a 30-something-year-old get off on bashing a grandma? I just don't get that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like too naive for YouTube or something. I don't know. I don't know. That part of it just kind of, and the same as if anyone's cutting him down. You know, I've seen videos of people cutting him down, and I don't think none of that needs to happen. Just discuss the case, you know?
Right. And that's the thing, is that I think this case needed to go to trial. I mean, it needs to, you know, maybe some year it will. Like you were saying, if a trained domestic violence counselor started working with Chris, and we don't know that somebody isn't, you know, but if they started working with him and really got him to see, like my first marriage, I didn't understand that I was completely abused because he never hit me. But, you know, one of these days I saw one of those pamphlets that says, are you being controlled, criticized, or abused? Well, I'm like, I've been controlled and criticized all my life. I didn't understand it. But, you know, it took that for me to start seeing. And I think that maybe he didn't understand that the control and the criticism.
Right. Sometimes it can just take a certain amount of time too. I think if a qualified professional was able to meet with Christopher Watts, I think it would be interesting if he might be able to be helped to realize that maybe, just maybe, he needs to tell a little bit more of what he knows. Right. I'm going to go ahead and see what else Justin.
Hi, Mrs. Ben. I see you.
Okay, so he's playing the
what he's told, like a submissive husband.
He's playing the Whack-A-Daddy video.
Yeah.
talking about how Christopher Watson's doing what he's told, and then he played it again.
Bella becomes terrified, and she doesn't want something smacking her in the face, which I understand. It would be a little nerve-wracking, but at the same time, Bella is nervous a lot. She's scared of a lot of activities they do. The beach, Santa, the Easter Bunny, pie in the face. No matter what they're doing, she's showing signs of psychological abuse and being terrified of not behaving the correct way.
That's a really good point, because remember how she said to the babysitter how she was so afraid that somebody was going to feed Cece the wrong food and she'd never see her again?
Right.
And the way Cindy Watts talked, Bella was afraid of everything.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, he did make the point about that.
Do you remember the rainstorm one when they were out in the rain? And she yelled at CW to stand back.
And it shows again in this video.
So he's right. He says Bella is living in constant
Everyone
fear.
loved to pile on Chris. He's basically just a target, and he's there to laugh whenever you make fun of him.
I want to get to the part where Bella starts crying and see what Justin says about that.
Bella is terrified. She doesn't want to do it, but what happens? They're going to force their hand.
Oh, now there's a commercial.
Did you know that you can make a full-time income from YouTube without ever trying to grow your own channel? It's true.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Timely.
And now it's buffering. I want to hear what he says about when Bella starts crying at the end. Because that poor little girl was hiding. She did not want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And what did Christopher Watson do? She chased her down. She mocked her. But it's just buffering, you guys. So evidently we're not supposed to hear it right now. Here we go. Nope, it's buffering. I guess we're not supposed to listen to this because it just keeps buffering. It must be the snow. We had snow today, you guys.
Oh, gosh.
Snow.
We had it all weekend.
Here it is, almost 90 here, and you got snow. Crazy.
It is snowing right now. Yeah, snow is coming down right now. And I see enough of it on the ground that I'm kind of like, okay, this is unacceptable. Like, unacceptable. The deck is pretty much covered on the section of it, the part of it that's not covered by the overhang.
Mm-hmm. Well, your winter's still going on. Yep.
Yeah. It's just not right.
Do you remember the video where they were standing out in the storm?
Yeah.
And
Right.
and she yelled at CW to step back. Like, step back. Like, why? What?
I don't remember that one. I thought you were talking where Bella was afraid of the rain.
Yeah, that's
the hail, the one where the hail was?
Yeah.
Oh.
She snapped at him just like that. She's like, see, she's like, step back. Like, why? What difference would it make if he took a step back? Well, probably so he could get in the picture better, or so she could square it up. I don't know. But the way that, I mean, it's just like this tongue that just cuts. It's like the way she said it, and he was holding Bella. And so I'm wondering if, some of that is where it started, if there was a fight, if CW and his wife had a fight that day that, was in the storm, and that's why they're so afraid of the storm. I don't understand talking that way to another person.
Yeah. Well, it was only Bella that was up then, because she got woke up from the hail hitting the window, I believe is what she said.
Oh.
And she was trying to show her, supposedly, that is anything to be afraid of. But Cece was already down for the night. Normally, they would put to bed at 6:30. So,
who does that?
I don't know.
I would take my kids everywhere. I lived in California for a while. And I mean, I would just load up the kids and I got the SeaWorld pass. I drive them to SeaWorld every freaking day that I could, because then they could, just climb on the play structures and whatnot every freaking day, because then their energy was out. It makes my life easier. They've climbed, they played all day long. I mean, that's what I did as a mom. And I don't have anybody, asking if I can get sainthood. I mean, I don't understand why she was seen as.
Well, I don't think she was allowed to drive the girls any place, to be honest with you, because
I think that too.
Yeah,
I think that too. And then, okay, so the theory, Miss Mensa, on the ongoing court case, could that have been the big SSI hearing to see if the girls actually qualified? And if they got that back pay, would that have, put the plug in the money problem and helped the issues a lot?
I think they were already getting disability on the girls. I think that's why she tried so hard to get them diagnosed with asthma.
Yeah.
And we do know, well, it's been suggested anyway, that she'd already took credit cards out in their name. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think that the hearing for the ongoing family matter, I think, was to sever her parental rights.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
Why hasn't?
Because it was in a family. That was in a family court. That wasn't in the courts that usually see over the Social Security stuff. Not usually a civil court, I believe, on that.
Well, I mean, CPS workers aren't paid a lot. I mean, they could come forward with the story and get a lot of money by selling the story if it was. So I'm just waiting for something to happen.
Why do you think they could get a lot of money?
Well, because one of my friends is a supervisor caseworker.
Right, but they could get a lot of money. This case is not as popular as you think. Not at all.
The way that I was attacked, I just felt it.
It's because of the case. It's not because of this being a big case. It's it's just because we're continuing to talk about it right now. That's why you're getting attacked. Because you went after SW. You pointed something out and that bent somebody the wrong one. That's why you got attacked. Believe me, I've been dealing with this stuff for over 3 years. I can tell you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
this is not the popular case at all. The only reason it's still being talked about is because of the people who keep on stirring the pot. I mean, when you look and see how many videos are put up about it, all the, I can go right down the list and tell you that one's a scumbag, that one's a scumbag, that one's a scumbag. They have done so many different things over the last 3.5 years, but they keep on using this case to try to be, their word is relevant, right?
Yeah.
The actual case in the actual true crime community, the case of Christopher Watts is not a popular case.
Really?
Really? Yeah. Paula and I keep talking about it because a couple of things, I guess, I don't want to speak for you, Paula, but I think we're on the same page. We have the right to talk about this case. We have the freedom to talk about this case, and we have the right to live our lives without being harassed and attacked and threatened. And so we're not going to run and hide because of a bunch of criminal thugs who want us to shut up.
Right.
Yeah. I've already been told, I was told a long time ago not to come to get off the Menzies, not to come over here and to keep my mouth shut. People were watching me. I've been through all that crap with people. So it don't fly anymore. It just doesn't fly anymore,
And the other part of it, I think, and I think it's for a lot of us in chat and everyone too, is that we see 2 little girls who were treated like shit.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the main thing right there.
Yeah.
Is getting justice for them. And
exactly. And they deserve to have a voice, and they deserve to have their lives honored with the truth.
Yes. Exactly. Because, they want this one to be, the big domestic violence thing. They want it to be from that CW is this big case of domestic violence. No, this is a case about child abuse. And this is about a battered husband. And there's a whole lot of different things that can be explored. And like I say, maybe it's because it didn't have its day in court. But Casey Anthony had her day in court. Look at how she was vilified for the Benadryl. That was the big thing, is that, she was giving her Benadryl and blah, blah, blah. Well, how come who can brag about lots of Tylenol and Benadryl every night?
Yeah.
Well, if she was giving her Benadryl every night, then how was she reacting to food that she was allergic to? I mean, I have chronic anaphylaxis, and I've had extreme asthma all my life. Those kids didn't have asthma. They were not they were not me. You know, I can see. Did they have a reaction to some food? Sure, probably. A lot of kids do. But going doctor to doctor to get an asthma diagnosis, the kids didn't have asthma.
If you have 2 kids and they both magically have asthma, that has to make you wonder why.
Yeah.
And also, if you have 2 kids who you're claiming both have asthma, you don't put them behind a locked bedroom door and have them stay there for 12 hours.
Right.
No.
It doesn't fit. And you do not give them Benadryl and Tylenol.
No. I mean, and that's, I mean, because you want to check on them. I mean, you know, I mean, my kids didn't start closing their doors. I think they started like 16-ish, maybe 16. Just because, you know, then they were too cool, you know, to be checked on. But, you know, I still always checked on it. You know, it's like,
well, if they both had such severe asthma, they wouldn't have had those pillows and blankets right in their faces either.
No. And I mean, and that's a big thing because I worked at Pottery Barn Kids, and I would have these women start chasing me around and telling me off because we were still selling bumper pads. And don't even get me started on the DocaTot product, because we still sell that in America and some countries don't. And they had to shut down their hotline because these people would call and complain about how dangerous it is to have those around babies. Where are those people for this case?
Well, they probably spoke up and got threatened.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, I mean, honestly, and like I said, if I didn't have a ground to stand on, like you know, I've shared with you, you know, I have a basis for why I think this way. You know, that I have been a mom. I was a junior in high school and pregnant. Went to high school my whole junior year pregnant. Graduated with a 1-year-old. So if she was pregnant in high school and whatnot, she got her GED. Wonderful. Well, I was also pregnant in high school, and I didn't turn out to be mean to my spouse. You know, so it's like I have all these things, and you know, I come from a place of experience, and none of this makes sense. None of it makes sense to me.
Well, it doesn't make sense until you apply the moving day theory. Then everything makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, that one day. Yeah, that explains it. Yeah.
It does explain it. It really does. But, and you know, and where are the critical thinkers that are saying there wasn't enough time for CW to have done what he's accused of? And I believe.
Well, I don't think there was. There wasn't enough time. But I believe there's a lot of other things that makes me think he didn't do it anyway. I mean.
And Miss Mensa, the father inquired about the attorney before the confession. Was the confession allowed because CW didn't? It was his father? Or what do you think about that aspect of the interrogation?
What do I think about the Ronnie Watts saying, or I'm sorry, here I tell everyone not to use names, about Christopher Watts' father saying, let's get a lawyer, and then they ran back into the room?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think between Ronnie and his son, I think one of them should have had enough gumption at that point to say, this discussion is over, we're getting a lawyer.
Right. And that's where, I mean, she was sped back in there. That cardigan, the cardigan flaps were flying. She sped back in there before they could. Like I say, I mean, I think that could have been, the whole thing could have been thrown out. I don't understand why there aren't attorneys trying. I don't get it. I mean, are they being threatened in the same way? Is this one little pack of attackers going and threatening to ruin anybody's practice?
Any part of that interrogation could have been concealed from any jury down the road?
Yeah.
I think so.
Because the father said we should get a lawyer?
I think so, but I don't know. That's where I'm trying to, you know, trying to split a hair here. Does it have to be the person, or because it was suggested by...
that Christopher Watts never said the word attorney, and that Christopher Watts had every ample opportunity to say, I'm done talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was because it didn't come from him. I'm on a call.
Well, even having it come from his father, it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because he didn't say this conversation's over, we're getting a lawyer.
Okay.
You know, and people complain about NK taking her father with her to the interview. Yeah. I don't see a problem with that at all. That's called smart. And
it actually is. I have problems with the way that she like switches into dude mode, like when she's talking, like leave Jim alone. But then she's like a
but if you
dude.
take a look at her education, take a look at her career, I think she's somewhat of a tomboy.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think
I think she hung with a lot of guys too when she's out on those ships and stuff, on those wall rigs, yeah.
Well, and CW got to be a boy again when he was with her and feel like a boy and young and a man again and not having to be emasculated.
I think he just got to do some things that he wanted to do with somebody else that enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
And
I think the marriage was over at that point too. I think North Carolina, I think he was a free bird. I mean, I think at that point the marriage was done. I don't think he expected her to come back.
Nope.
Well, the thing that bothers me in the North Carolina thing is how did she switch back and forth from appreciating her parents to warning others about not letting her kids be with their parents?
Because she has different personalities. She has different personalities.
Yeah.
I believe. I think she has several personalities. And I think depending on different things she was saying, depending on which personality she was actually in at that time. That's my opinion. I'm just telling you what I think personally. But I've known people that have had personality disorders, unfortunately. And it's kind of, they can have 2 or 3 or even more. I only knew somebody had 3 actually different personalities. And you'd be shocked at some of the things that you can learn. Yeah.
So it was like a paranoia thing. Like sometimes she was paranoid.
They just slipped in and out of different personalities. I think she was on a lot of medications, and I think she got involved in this MLM and stuff. I think other people convinced her that was a cure-all.
Yeah.
I think she went off the medications that she needed to be on to prevent this from happening, because her own dad said she was like on 28 different pills at one time. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I mean, like you guys have touched on so beautifully, you don't spot and not go to the doctor. You don't spot and not go to the ER. There are those signs everywhere that says even if you don't have insurance and you're pregnant, you will be.
Well, she had insurance. They had insurance, and that insurance would have covered her. She was hiding something. There was something, either, I'm telling you, there was some, I think she was already miscarrying myself.
Yeah.
I don't think he gave her anything. I think she was overdoing it with the medication she was on for the migraines and for the nausea. They're both known to cause miscarriages. There's warning signs, but there's also warning signs about those patches that she was using.
Right.
And she had 2 and 3 of them on her in a couple of those videos when she was in North Carolina. So she hadn't stopped using. That's for sure.
Well, that's the thing, because that's why, like, how I started this whole thing is what was in those freaking patches, because like
a lot of caffeine.
Well, that's not healthy with a pregnancy.
No.
And that's where you were touching on the other night in one of the marathons, or some of the ones I'm listening to are a year old. I'm sorry. I was trying to get all caught up, Steve, if you touched on my questions. But what was in those patches, because that broke down alcohol amount in the autopsy does not add up.
Well, I think the patches, they've changed them since she used those patches, and now they're like a little bit of caffeine and a lot of vitamins, to where back then they had like a lot of caffeine and a little bit of vitamins. So it changed. And I think, you got to keep in mind her friend too. She has had health issues supposedly, and she has a child supposedly that had a heart issue. So, and she used them the whole time because she said her doctor said it was okay. And I don't believe any doctor would tell you in good faith that you can use that kind of stuff and it'd be okay.
No way. No way. Like I say, I have 6 kids, and my youngest are twins, so I've been pregnant 5 times, high risk, hyperamine, emesis and everything, all that good stuff. There is no way. I mean, they wouldn't let me have my coffee, I mean, like, it's like, you're not supposed to have coffee.
Why, when she's claiming that she's spotting and cramping, didn't she go to the doctor? Do you think that she thought she wasn't pregnant anymore?
I think she was hiding. I think she was already.
Yeah.
I think she had a missed abortion. Is what I think. I think she tried to miscarry, and I don't think she expelled the fetus. Is what I think. That's my
Well,
opinion. And
what do you
I
think
think she
about
was further along too. I think the baby was not his, and she knew that was going to catch her because
the leopard suit? The leopard,
never get
when she
phone
dressed up in the
calls
leopard with
on
the
here.
other one.
Must have
Maybe.
been the leopard dress.
Yep, the leopard dress.
Sorry.
The leopard dress.
Sorry, I had a phone.
But-
I had a phone call. I never get them unless I get on here. I swear, it's just
Well,
natural.
But reading in the autopsy, and it's a little bit different than like Lacey Peterson's coffin birth. Lacey Peterson's coffin birth is much more described differently, but she was so much more further along.
Lacey Peterson's coffin birth. What do you mean? You lost me.
Lacey Peterson also had a coffin birth that she was wearing.
Christopher Watts did not have a coffin birth.
No, his wife did.
Sorry. So SW.
Lacey Peterson's body was in the water.
Yeah, the baby and her was both in the water for so long. I don't have, and it had completely expelled from her.
Yeah.
But she was also due any day. She was.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the difference. Yeah.
But the way that they explain the way that they explain SWs, because they said that her were abnormal, and from the inside the uterus, I don't know, it's just differently explained, and maybe it's because of how far along. But why couldn't they judge the sex of the fetus?
Well, I can tell you one thing about what you just asked about, and you may want to go over to a lady's channel called Maya. She touched on this very thing about the fetus, and she has one of the doctors that did the autopsy on SW, and in one of them it says that he removed a fetus from her.
Really?
Yeah. So there are several different autopsy opinions floating around it here. I don't know what's going on. That right there threw me because and if that's the case, then I mean, they've got charges against him that he should never have been charged with,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, there's
so
just,
ones. Okay.
yeah, there's different. And it's just like why in some of the autopsies, why are they sealed and why in some, there was nothing wrong with the girls. There was nothing wrong but a little gallstone in her. They never touched on anything about it, any damage with all these diseases she supposedly had all this time. There would have been some kind of damage to some of her organs. I mean, she would have shown something.
Yeah, with the lupus, she would have had much different symptoms than she complains about, and the kidneys are often affected with lupus and whatnot, and
yeah, everything is actually your heart, liver.
Yeah, and they said their kidney capsules, everything in the kidney, everything was perfect, which just doesn't jive with that lupus diagnosis of 7 or 8 years.
But the one thing they didn't check was her mind, because you can't do that.
Right. But don't they do like do they end up comparing then? Because it said that there were no medical records available. Well, why not? If she had just recently been to the doctor for the pregnancy, why weren't they able to?
She hadn't been. She'd canceled. She'd never been to the doctor. She canceled our appointments. That was on Google. Yeah, that's not true. Her doctor said that she'd canceled all the appointments till that Monday, and that was to determine how far along she was, if they could hear her heartbeat, and possibly what the sex of the baby was.
So there's nothing that actually says that baby was male.
Because that we have. We've been
because why couldn't the autopsy? If an autopsy couldn't see it, how could an?
Well, the DNA sealed, and they've got everything sealed. That's why there's certain things that's sealed. So just like what's underneath people's fingernails, underneath the girls, underneath her.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you why. Here we go. Because look at this. It's really interesting. I'm glad you hopped up on the panel because it's so interesting to hear how people are taking in the information.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what Alice said. So he's in prison, right? She says the reason we have to do this is because their channels spinning a narrative. Okay? She's saying there are channels spinning a narrative. She says they're aligning themselves with the family of Chris Watts, allegedly wanting to exonerate him. And she says it's escalated so much. Okay? According to her, this is, I think, isn't it pretty much considered the official narrative right now, considering who she has strong ties with this month? According to her, Christopher Watts wasn't perfect at all. And according to her, Christopher Watts' wife would have kicked him to the curb and divorced him. Really? She wouldn't have had a curb without him.
Right.
The idea that she could have kicked him to a curb, are you kidding me? Remember how she was talking about moving people in? Who the hell was going to make the house payment if he wasn't there?
Yeah.
You know, the whole thing, one story after another. This is what's called the chaos and confusion of it all. And that's
Well, no one's bringing the true story through other than you, because I've searched for years, because like I say, I had these questions on my own, and I'm like, how as a newlywed couple why do you go move in with other people, and then why do you stay with them for 18 months, then why do you have your brother there and everything? You're newlyweds, and why are these people, why are you living with them for a year and a half, why is somebody living with you for a year? When were you ever alone? No one has brought that up except for you.
And why, if somebody dies, why on earth are so many people trying to tell the world that she was a retired nurse?
Mm-hmm.
There's something really weird about that.
Nurse Nene.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nurse Nene. Yeah.
Nurse Nene coming with a rectal probe. I mean, what? I mean, honestly. Okay.
And then we told that she was in a nursing program, that she was accepted into this nursing program, but then we dug in, and that nursing program doesn't even exist.
Nope.
No, and you have to take prereqs to get into one. I have a severe latex allergy, so I had to drop out of my nursing program, because I was going into anaphylaxis when I went to work, and it just wasn't working out real well with me being down in the ER.
Why are we being lied to? Why are the stories changing all the time? Why?
Right. It takes 2 years of prereqs to get into an RN program.
I can't even find a high school diploma on this woman, or high school pictures or anything. So
tennis team picture. Those do not look like high school.
No.
No, but that teacher was rather fond of her.
Yeah. A little bit too fond, if you ask me, but my opinion.
We had this band teacher, and this classmate of ours, but she'd just go in the office and she'd just rub his shoulders, and it was just so wonderful, because then we didn't have to learn music or play our instruments at all. It was wonderful. Just rubbed his shoulders. And then I read it, and it's like, yeah, they ran the frick off, and they were married when she was like 4.
And that's an important point too, I think, because I think that interview with that teacher was right away, within a few months after the tragedy happened. And then didn't people come out and have anger toward that teacher? They were saying that he was a fake and a fraud.
Right.
And he didn't even know her. And I can't remember exactly, but then remember he produced that letter that she had written to him?
Right.
I think that letter was produced because he was being called a fake and a fraud. Yeah.
But I still find it really strange that a young girl would keep in touch with the high school teacher all those years later. They were talking the way he talked about on a weekly basis.
Yeah, that was her first obsession. That was her first project. She worked on him.
And
she focused on him.
And here we are 3.5 years later, still going, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Something you guys said too about the blood alcohol level.
Yeah.
There's no way that you're going to convince me that was from decomposition.
Yeah. No. I don't get it.
I think she was drinking. I think she was drinking plenty.
Yeah.
And I think that she believed that the pregnancy was no longer viable.
Right. Because she said Monday was going to suck, right? Yeah.
Yep. And remember, too, she said tomorrow morning.
Yeah, tomorrow morning's going to really suck, yeah.
So that really kind of limits it to either not being able to pay the daycare center or not wanting to go to the doctor or both.
Mm.
If the kids were on SSI, would that daycare have been subsidized?
Yeah, well, we know they do get subsidiaries there. I can tell you that. I looked into that.
It didn't have anything to do with whether or not they were receiving any disability benefits. I think it would have more to do with whether or not they were court ordered to be there.
Yeah. I
mean, CPS case, and it was part of a family plan to keep them in the home.
Because she sure wasn't getting it from all the money she was making, believe me.
I mean, honestly, though, I mean, I've never heard of a 3-hour nap for a kid combined with a 6:30. I don't even think mine did that as newborns. I don't think so. I mean,
well, they'll sleep for 3 hours if you're giving them drugs, you know.
Well, there you go. There you go. And then if it was an egg allergy or whatever, then why was she giving them those, that company's bars, those protein
She
bars?
said that they could have eggs and baked goods, but not eggs that weren't in baked goods.
Oh, because they're special eggs if they come from that company or what?
Well, she was celiac. You know, she was gluten intolerant. She had celiac disease, like on demand or on command or whatever. If she wanted to go through the drive-through, evidently her gluten intolerance disappeared.
Right.
Or make that spaghetti that, you know, she always made.
Yeah, gluten-free spaghetti.
And then, okay, what was going on when she was, I mean, she was like totally dazed making those desserts for Thanksgiving or whatever. And was it, which one of the kids was in the freaking toilet? And she kept saying, you know, what? And she wouldn't go and help her. I mean,
no.
How do you continue on?
Maybe she wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, she said she was playing in the toilet, but she was ignoring it, you know.
Maybe she
going on and on.
Maybe she wasn't allowed to.
Yeah.
Maybe whoever was there watching her was the person who was supposed to be doing that.
And she was cueing them to go find her.
Yeah. That's what I think. Yeah.
I mean, it's just so bizarre. I can't imagine forming those words.
It's like with the expensive chocolates, you know, that Cindy had to go out and buy. But they were both eating those little miniature chocolate chips in that video also. So you got to think about everything.
You're right. Yeah, because that one was, chocolate chip flavor. You can have some. Like, that would make their stomachs hurt. If you put those, you know, like energy bars or those protein filled things and you have an empty stomach, I can't imagine giving one of those to a child. I don't see how it wouldn't make them just yak.
Well, I don't think they ate much of anything other than noodles and pizza. And I never seen them eat any fruit or vegetables or had hot dogs, French fries, chicken strips. I mean, that's all I heard of them eating is cereal, you know, marshmallows, lots of marshmallows.
Because most stay-at-home moms, you know, honor the budget that they have and they cook. And so that's the other thing. I'm like, I don't actually see her cooking or like baking, you know, like a stay-at-home mom would.
She knew how to peel an egg, and she had instructions. She had an instructions book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Peel an egg?
Yeah, she did she put them in a rice cooker. She did a whole video about those eggs, how they come out and stuff, and showed all her gadgets. Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it's still out there.
Rice cooker? You better find it quick.
Because usually things start disappearing, you know.
The shiners are sitting there right now going, oh, we gotta get that one down.
That's why they show up and say, can you give me the link to that?
Give me the link to that. Can you go ahead and do that?
So they can take it down, tell them to go do their own research. That's what I do. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I say, it's crazy. I mean, people still talk about, you know, Charlie Manson, you know, and every crime that is just baffling and just, you know.
I just uploaded a video on Patreon on the case of little Charlie Lindbergh Jr.
Yeah.
That happened in 1932.
That's still talked about.
Yep.
I mean, Susan Powell. How, you know, that's
being talked about. Yeah. And
that was a lot of
Diana Downs, Susan Smith, Betty Broderick, Darla Jeter, O.J. Simpson. I can name a bunch of them off. Yep.
Yep. And there's no one that's going to come at you for saying it. I mean, I've just never had, you know, that experience. And I just, like I say, I thank you ladies for all that you're doing. And, you know, I mean, I hope that, you know, I've spoken to show you that, you know, people are listening. You know, I'm, like I say, I've been listening every night, just trying to get caught up, because it's refreshing that some of my, because I just can't I can't file this one in my brain. I can't put this one together.
Oh, neither can
Well,
we.
it doesn't make sense at all, and it is so confusing. But if you apply the moving day theory, it all makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The moving day theory, you know, is one thing, but then you go forward, and like you said, why hasn't that house sold?
Yeah, I want to know that myself.
I mean, to be frank, it was a bloodless crime.
It's still in his name.
And that's the thing. I mean, it's a bloodless crime. There are homes that, you know, there have been, you know, horrible things happen, and they sell.
Was it really a bloodless crime?
Yeah, that's what we don't know.
Good point.
That upstairs bathroom sure did smell a lot like bleach.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
And that gray truck was there until noon.
So they don't want anybody in there for a reason. That's why it hasn't sold.
And there was a rubber cleaning glove the size of a small woman's hand left on the kitchen counter.
So that is why it hasn't sold. That's why the GoFundMe's go, because they pay the taxes or whatever to.
And there was no mention in the autopsy about that neck scar. That's interesting.
Okay, I wrote, did you see my comment the other day? Do you see the comments on old videos?
How do I know?
I
have no idea.
Well, my username is quite unique, so I thought you would have noticed it.
I don't think I did. Yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. I would have remembered that probably.
Yeah.
So because I looked at that too, and I'm like, look, there's no surgery on the neck. Look. Well, then I read further, and it says in the spine. It says there's hardware visible in the spine. Well, where they said it, I think they said it at C6. That's not going to be consistent to where that scar was. I think she put makeup on. I think she put makeup on because there was still no scar. So it said they could visualize hardware. They took X-rays. So I'm imagining that the hardware was visualized through an X-ray, because it still doesn't know what a scar. Like you would have a scar. I mean, so clearly she had something.
Well, that isn't even the right kind of brace. They claim that you would, people that have been here and things that's had that kind of surgery. So that isn't even the kind of brace you would wear. So. And
she private paid for it. Why would you private pay? That means that some doctor said this is too high risk, or there wasn't anything there. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
well, or the insurance, his insurance wouldn't pay for it because it wasn't necessary.
Right.
It's elective surgery, so you'd have to pay for some elective surgery.
Does anyone all the sympathy? Does anyone actually believe that she ever paid for any surgery?
No, I don't.
No, how could she have? All the money went to that hoard of MLM stuff in the basement.
Well, I had an opinion on that scar, that so-called scar too, though. I
do too. Yep.
Just makeup?
No, not makeup. I think the scar was real. I think she was the cutter myself, but and she always wore a lot of long pants and stuff, and she was laying out not the beginning when they were first together, but a lot of other videos you see her wearing stuff out. Even when she's got bathing suits, she's always covered with something. I don't know. There's something not right. There's something not right. And I think she was violent with him because I didn't see him in very many short sleeve shirts. He always wore long sleeve shirts, even in the summer months. So,
think about the comment, check the knives too. I do.
Yeah.
I think she was into self-harming.
Yeah.
And she had a history of self-harming.
Can you mute my mic for a second?
I am.
Thank you. I'm on
That was cute.
I'm on a call.
That was cute. Yeah, I think she had a history of self-harm.
Yeah.
I think if that autopsy said no scars, I think it's possible that the scar was not visible.
Well, or else there's another, some reason they're covering up more stuff for some reason. It just amazes me that something has got so crazy on this and it makes no sense. But yet anybody that tries to make sense of it, they get attacked, I've just never understood that. at all.
You're just made to feel like a terrible person. Like, how dare you do this to somebody? And I mean, like, I just thought, I was like, wow, how could I have such an odd perspective on this? What's wrong with me? That's the way it came, because I just felt like, wow, I'm clearly the only person who was noticing this. I must have missed something. So it came back on me and made me very insecure about it.
No.
That's their goal.
Right.
Yeah.
Because then you stop.
Yeah, I mean, even high schoolers do a better job of it,
Right.
That's how they do it, is they want you to think that you're the only person who is seeing the obvious.
Right.
And if you talk, and the people that talk about it, discuss it, try to get to the bottom of it, they're driving the family to where they could possibly do something to themselves. I mean, it's just crazy, some of the stuff that they're putting out there. I mean, it's just dumb,
Why wouldn't they, honestly? Well, because they have the answers. That's why they don't want
They have the answers. They don't want, because if the real truth come out there, that would blow the sainthood of her,
right. Right, the images.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and remember, life insurance policies oftentimes don't pay out for self-harm.
That's that's a big one.
And it was a big one.
And why so many policies, not even her husband's name, and then her kid's name. Yeah. It's just really weird.
The first one, I think, was 200,000, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That her parents were the beneficiaries. Why not her children and her husband?
All right.
And like, my theory here is that, okay, if CW did it, why wouldn't he have switched the vehicles out, popped the Lexus out into the other side of the driveway, put the truck in the garage, bring the bodies out in the garage with the garage door shut, then go? I mean,
they wouldn't have fit in the back of that truck to begin with all that equipment.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we're supposed to believe that he just, carried them out, and people could be jogging at that hour. I mean, people.
There wasn't even enough time for him to do all this stuff that they're claiming he did by himself. That's my big thing.
And went to work and showed up on time. Maybe a little dirty, but he was there. Just like nothing. No way.
I would also ask who had the red truck there too.
Yeah, there's a red truck too. Yeah,
I know.
Mm-hmm. And I would love to see footage from about 3 different airports.
I know. Where are all of those cameras? Those are beautiful houses. You know that everybody had a camera.
And if my child was missing and my grandchildren, there isn't anything on this face of earth that stopped me from getting there as fast as I could. I don't care if I had to hitchhike, I'd get there.
Exactly.
But that's me,
Exactly. You'd be there, but they were conditioned. They were just like, okay, it's another one of her little shenanigans.
Maybe they knew already,
Right.
Well, it sure looks like there was damage control going on right away.
Yeah.
There was. And Miss Mensa, as you said, you've written books. Can you email me what your author name is? I'd like to follow your books. I'd like to read more about what you've said about Diane Downs.
I'm giving you the side eye right now, but you can't see me because we're on the computer.
Oh. Like, what? You stalker?
Yeah, I'm giving you the side eye. I'm in, I was going to dramatically call it a snowstorm. You guys know my desk is right by the glass wall, and I'm just, it's still light enough out that I'm seeing the snow come down and the wind's blowing. And I'm just like, what the heck is going on? This is like ridiculous. There were campfires last night. I mean, I was getting ready to plant my garden, and my friends are like, it's kind of early. And I'm like, pessimist.
I know. Well,
I guess they were right.
Well, I'm in a state too where we've had the snow up to this weekend, and we were 36 this morning, and people are like, it's spring, go out to the parks and look. I'm like, no, I can't do that. I'd have to scrape my windows again. We're going through snow and thunder and everything in a day, so we're not anywhere near spring where I'm at either.
So I notice I'm not like all that engaging with this live chat either, because I'm just sitting here staring at the snow going, this sucks. This just sucks.
Yeah.
You know, earlier I said that I can see the white a little bit on the ground. Now the ground is covered in white. Like it's in the middle of the winter.
And here I am in this spot, been 90 all day. Okay.
Well, Paula, with the meals that you've been cooking lately, I was thinking, I might like to move to your state.
Well, I'm old and arthritic, so it's like this weather is just killing me. I sound like a Rice Krispie when I try to walk, because it's just like every day is something, and will almost look like spring at some parts of the day, and then it'll just go hail, snow, repeat all seasons all at once again, and
Well,
it just
you got the chicken and dumplings that I'm like, or no, the beef stew, the stew with the potatoes and everything.
Yeah.
Or not the beef stew, the roast. I think, was it a roast with potatoes?
I had to fix a rump roast with carrots, and then
with the carrots and stuff. That I'm like, okay.
But I made scallop potatoes to go with it.
Oh, yum! Was that Easter? Did you make that for Easter?
No, that was this week.
Really?
I
mean, I'm making hearty meals. You know, I even had to make the tater tot casserole this week because it was just back to winter.
I made chicken and dumplings yesterday, and today I made Swiss steak and rice. So.
Yum!
Yeah, I like to cook though. Yeah.
No wonder your shoulder's not healed.
Yeah.
You're just whipping it up in the kitchen there.
Yeah. Well, that's easy compared to normal things, I guess. So.
Easy. Yeah, right.
I'm thinking that I'm just not on my game right now, because I'm just kind of like staring out the window going, oh, brother. So this live chat is probably boring for all you guys in the chat, because we're just kind of bouncing a little bit. I love, though, the different questions and the different statements, because I'm sitting here thinking, what do you mean coffin birth, right? And then I'm thinking, what do you mean? You know, that it's like, wait a minute, this is the stuff that's out there.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that people are hearing from the different channels that are put up to promote the same thing, right? So it's a really good, I guess, status check, right? To see what are people hearing right now? What is it that people believe happened? You know? I don't know, maybe I should just turn everything into the moving day and just like, this is what happened.
Yeah.
I liked that. That was where I first really became a super fan, was the moving day theory, and then going back from it, because like I say, I've been just alone with all of my questions and not able to find any answers. And so the moving day theory really started making me see that you saw things for what they are. And then, listening to you and
on Patreon for it's titled "Tomorrow Morning is Going to Suck," and I only have 3 videos up so far. But what I'm doing, and I don't write stuff down. I just hit the button and start talking. And what I'm doing is all 3 videos so far, I'm way back in 2010 and 2011, and I'm staying back there because there's so much to talk about, you know?
Right.
Like how many times over the last 3.5 years have we heard how she was so successful and she built her own house and it was a beautiful mansion? Bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
She made $500,000 and she was top notch in the country. Or in the company. Bullshit about that too, because she didn't have a pot to piss in. That's why
where did that money come from in the briefcase? Come on, what was she doing?
Lenders don't allow the briefcase crap either. That's bullshit. You know, so much of that stuff from the first couple years, and she was diagnosed in the same week with lupus and fibromyalgia. Bullshit. You know.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is I didn't plan on staying in the beginning for this long, but like one of the videos is 25 minutes long. One of them is 16 minutes long. And I'm buried in the first couple of years that I just keep going. No, really, you guys, look at it, because
exactly.
You know, the whole fake story is that she was some superstar and he was some loser.
Right.
That isn't true.
Right.
It isn't true. she was a liar, and he was a naive 25-year-old kid who fell for her lies.
Yeah.
And, you know, and this whole idea that Cindy Watts is terrible because she didn't go to the wedding. Okay, who didn't go to Christopher Watts' wife's first wedding?
Yeah.
So are they terrible? Are they terrible too because they didn't go to the wedding? I'm just asking, who didn't go to that wedding, and why doesn't anyone care about that wedding?
They didn't go, and she didn't go. They didn't go to Cece's birthday party. Well, after I've been accused of trying to murder my own grandchild, I wouldn't go either. I'm just saying. Yeah, and then they don't go to the cemetery. Well, shoot, no, you're not going to go out there where people are going to be watching you, taking pictures, and then running back and making nasty crap about you. No.
Or sitting in a car and then approaching you saying, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
Like,
yeah.
It's like, and so, yeah, I mean, the whole idea of tomorrow morning's going to suck is the whole moving day thing and the domino theory. Because, like you said earlier, Paula, why would she have said that? Why would she have said that? And you know, the only thing I can think of seriously besides the whole daycare center fiasco, well, I don't think, I think it was moving day. I don't think she was supposed to be there. I think that was the last time she was going to be allowed anywhere near.
Yeah, I do too. And when he said she wasn't supposed to be there, a lot of people want to take and put it back on that NK lady. No, she wasn't. SW wasn't supposed to be there either.
I agree. I don't think SW was supposed to be there.
Nope.
Well, what is it? Because, you know, there's a narcissism curse in my family, and, you know, it seems to skip generations, like empath, narcissist, because you're a victim of them or you are one, it seems, like in my family. But it seems like they do these terrible, terrible things. And then, around Christmas, they invite everybody. And you're supposed to, if you don't go to that Christmas thing, then, well, look who isn't here. Look who's too good to be here. But, you know, you've been writing me these vitriolic, spewing letters for months, but, you know, around Christmas, you're supposed to let it all go. And I saw that in what CW's wife was doing, and puts the focus on, well, they aren't here or they didn't show up. Well, what have you been doing to them?
Well, go watch her video at Christmas time and look at her eyes and tell me you'd want to be around her at Christmas.
Exactly.
Nope.
Well, and the other thing is that it's kind of customary where you see the mom and a small child sitting on Santa's lap, sitting on the Easter Bunny's lap. That's because they're showing their child that, okay, although this person is in a costume and it's kind of scary, it's okay. You know, they kind of work with a child and be like, I'll be here too. You know, I did not see her. I mean, that Santa video is terrible, terribly cruel. And calling her child a Grinch. I mean, and I mean, I just didn't get it. And I mean, here she is emasculating him, like, you forgot the phone out there and everything. He's dressed in a Santa suit. He's doing the best he can. He's trying to be.
No,
Santa.
it's a one-parent home. Remember, she threw that in there. That's what it's like being a one-parent. Yeah.
Yes, so she just does everything. She does everything.
Okay, now apply the theory. If you apply the theory to that video, it all makes sense.
Yeah,
I don't
it does.
allowed to be alone with the children.
Yeah.
I do not believe she was allowed to be alone with the children. So all of a sudden, Bella and Cece look around and they say, "Where's Daddy?"
Yeah.
And she says, "Oh, stop it. I'm going to make a movie here. We're going to be famous." And they start crying because they can't find their daddy.
Yeah.
And, stop it, you little brats. I said, stop it. We're going to make a movie. And then she's like, okay, I'm going to turn the camera on now, so you better stop it. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
Who knows, right? And then
don't forget Daddy shows up on there too and didn't say anything to her about what she was saying either. You know.
And, she had family members right on there watching her and engaged, right? And then Santa Claus comes to the door. Does she even know how to deal with Santa Claus? We're all moms on this panel. A lot of moms in the chat. We know damn well that when Santa knocks on the door, you go, oh, look at kids. Look at who's here. I thought he might come down the chimney, but Santa's knocking at the door. Yep. And then you go the center of the kids' focus. Not Christopher Watts' wife. She's like, where's my phone? Ugh.
And remember, she said Santa's sounding a little sick here because he went, oh, oh, oh. Remember, and it sounded just like CW. Yeah,
But he was trying. I mean, you've
He
got
had no clue
trying.
And honestly, how many kids? I know there's enough people in the chat. And here, how many people's children ever asked for a water bottle for Christmas? Come on. None of mine ever did. Never.
No.
Never.
And to act like that's a freaking present or a privilege to be able to have some water in the water bottle, like what? Yeah, those kids had dehydration.
Well, to them it was important because they were dried out all night from the Benadryl and stuff. I'm telling you, there's reasons why.
No drinking. 15 hours of no drinking.
It all makes sense because she wouldn't have known. She wouldn't have known.
Nope.
I don't think she bonded with those children. I don't think she knew how to parent those children.
No.
And I don't think she had any active experience parenting those children.
And do you think she breastfed him? I don't believe that for 1 minute.
No.
Nah.
No.
Mm.
It all makes sense if you apply the theory.
Yeah, it does.
It all makes sense. Even that Wackadaddy video that Justin Lee did a video on today, that makes sense. She's sitting there laughing and squirting whipped cream and laughing and squirting whipped cream and laughing. You know, she didn't have a parental bone in her body when she was tormenting Bella and Bella started crying. You know, you apply the theory, it all makes sense.
Not a nurturing bone in her.
And who did they always run to? Him, not her. That's
I think he was their parent, and I think she was the resident mental illness person who they kept in the main room downstairs.
Well, and he worked. You know, he has to get up early to drive them to frickin' daycare, get off work, go change, go pick them up, and then she's talking about how she's trained him to wash the girls' clothes and hang them up before they're dry. And like what? When did this man get to decompress?
He didn't even get to enjoy his own birthday because his mom said he was busy doing the kids' laundry in a closet or something. You know? I mean, it's horrible.
He didn't get to decompress. Like,
think about it. The theory: if he was the supervisor when he was home, if it was up to him to always be on guard to make sure the kids were safe, then it would make sense that while his parents are there to celebrate his birthday, that he would have been getting a lot of his housework done.
Yep.
It does make sense.
Care.
Yep.
I mean, for caretakers, we have something called, respite care and whatnot, because we know people get burned out. The man was burned out, abused.
I think that the theory becomes more and more, I think, believable. I think that's what happened.
And I think that's why all this stuff's going out to the police stations and all this crap starting up again about going after people. The stuff's being said that makes sense. People are going there. More people are looking at the type of parent she was, and they're seeing the views from her videos and stuff they didn't see before. People are changing their minds, and they don't want that to happen. They don't want that to happen. Nope.
Well,
I don't want that.
Say something else too. The actual number of people who are actually discussing the case is actually very low.
Yeah,
it's very low. When you see these channel creators who all of a sudden have 300 or 400 or 500 people in their chat, they don't.
Yeah.
They can buy crap. They can buy their subs. They can play whatever the games they play to try to make it look like they have a whole lot of people. You know?
And it probably would hurt their pocketbook quite a bit if the truth come out that they'd been hiding what their daughter really was, that she wasn't. Yeah.
And I'm saying too, just like, even if you look at the biggest channel of all, and I don't mean Alice, I mean the guy over in the UK.
Yeah.
If you look at his channel and watch his chat, it's really kind of incredible how few people are actually talking.
Yeah.
It's incredible how few comments are actually posted. If you have tens of thousands, what is it, like 70 or more thousand members?
Yeah.
Then you're going to have more than 32 people actually posting comments.
Yeah. I don't think he's got as many people as he's had for several years. I think they're dwindling away. I really do.
I do too. And I think the actual number of people who are true crimers who want to discuss the true crime case of Christopher Watts, I think the number is very low. I think what's happened is that the shit stirrers have kept the drama rolling, that it keeps people who aren't actually interested so much in the case. I think, there's a lot of troll activity going on. I think there's a lot of who's going to control the internet activity going on.
Yeah.
And actually what Mrs. Ben's saying here, I wonder about that too, about the portraits, why there was no portraits up in the house, no pictures sitting around, no fruit around, no Christmas. I mean, these girls were supposedly in ballet. We didn't see any of that. We didn't see Christmas morning, them getting up, the zoo pictures. None of that stuff exists. None of it.
By the theory, then it fits. If she could only see them for an hour or so a day and it had to be, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
It does.
And that the camera, I mean, it's not the first mentally ill person to use the camera and that platform for their own need. It's not the first.
Here's a way for you guys to know what channels are scumbag attackers or not. Just ask me to go put a comment in the chat, and then we'll see how they react to my comment, and they can usually reveal themselves. Mrs. Ben points out that when I posted a comment, was that on AD's channel?
Yeah, I went over there to look, and I seen where you were in there, and then all at once, there was nothing. No comments. They were just disappearing. Everything was disappearing. I noticed that. I meant to tell you about that because I went and checked. I did when we emailed.
If you were the super hotshot guru of true crime in the UK, wouldn't you welcome the super hotshot guru of true crime in the US?
Yes, you think, yeah.
I'm kidding.
Especially since he's changing his mind about all this stuff. And now tonight, I noticed he's doing something about the truth about NA and the phone and stuff. There's some new bombshell breaking news thing coming out again. I don't know. You know how that goes. Yeah.
So, I mean, when you see the channels that have all the huge numbers, just use some logic and common sense.
Yeah.
It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all chaos and confusion. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's bullshit that the ground is covered with white right now. I just can't.
Get out there and make a snowman. Come on.
I just can't believe it. My dog goes to the door and he looks out and he looks back at me like, you expect me to go out there,
Yeah.
Like,
you're allowed to see one of those big bears come up. I wouldn't go out there for nothing right now. No, thank you.
I must admit, I always let him go out before me because and I don't mean to sound mean about my dog or anything, but I always figure if he can run out there and do it safely and there isn't a big black bear coming after him, then he's kind of like my
your protector.
Canary in the coal mine.
Well, okay, and now, so I'm a huge fan here. I had this vision of you being this real estate broker, and this person coming in with a briefcase of cash at you, being like, "Here, I get the $500,000 loan because I got some cash right here, Miss Broker." I mean, just like what you would do. Like, what would you even do? But what did you guys decide she was actually doing for that Hot Wheels company or whatever the heck? However, she was this mogul of that company that she was making all that cash. Was that embezzlement?
I don't think she was ever employed there. I don't.
Well, I can't figure it out.
I'll tell you what I think. You want to know what I think? I think she was having an affair with somebody.
Yeah.
And I think she got involved in something she shouldn't have got involved in.
Yeah. She was a sugar baby.
Yeah.
I don't even think she was a sugar baby. I think she was a side piece.
Yeah. That's more like it. Yeah. But I'm not so sure. Not so sure that isn't where one of the pregnancies come from that I've always thought. So
Well,
just saying.
It could be. I mean, it could be, and you got to pay off to adopt him out so that he wouldn't be stuck with her. If it was a wealthy man, was like, you know.
Being said about NK, I think the stuff that's being said about NK could possibly be said about Christopher Watts Way.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Cartman, no kids' artwork on the fridge. That is
when she did the joke, though, she's like, let's make a joke that I'm 40 to your parents.
I think she was 40. I think she was 40. Yeah.
I think so too. And then she's like, don't you get it? I'm not that age. And they're like, you certainly look like it, ma'am.
She got sued, blah, blah, blah. She did her, blah, blah, blah. She got sued, Randy, because evidently the plaintiff thought she was part owner of the company. And then guess what happened? Her name got dropped from that lawsuit fast because she wasn't part owner of the company.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it did.
Summer Breeze says, who's the lady in the middle? We have no idea. She came out of nowhere. And you're loving it because she has like the road report on what people are thinking about this case, and I'm just sitting here shaking my head going, coffin birth, are you kidding?
I am just a huge fan of Miss Mensa and Paula, and I'm trying to get caught up because I've been alone with my questions.
Well, see, she knows my real name, so she's had to be listening for a while.
Yeah, haven't I proven myself? I mean, I'm not fast. I'm not putting on playback speed or anything. I'm listening to full 6 and 9 hour marathons. I am getting there, and I mean, like I say, I'm trying to get caught up. But I have my own questions, and I've thumbs up every video that I've done. So I'm
at least I'm not being called a bitch anyway yet. So not in here. I can't help it. I had to say that was just too much the other night. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
He hesitated really, though. He stammered when I said something about you can call me Her Royal Highness or something. What was it?
Yeah, you did.
I remember when I said something, and he just kind of stammered there for a second. He thought I meant.
Yeah, that was funny though. I mean, yeah.
Well, thank you for letting me on. Thank you for letting me pick your brain. And I'm, like I say, I'm a huge fan. And
I'm glad you hopped up. I am. I'm not really on I'm not in full gear tonight because I'm seriously pissed that it's snowing.
Well, thank you, Paula, too. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's nice hearing your opinions and what you've learned and things you've questioned. I mean, I like hearing other things, that people are.
It's good to know, isn't it?
Yes.
No, and I don't mean to be gruff with it either because I sit here and think, what? And I need to probably learn how to just step back and go, oh yeah, probably a lot of people think she actually had a coffin birth.
Well, there was even actually somebody addressed to somebody that works in a morgue that's has a site on YouTube, and this lady said, "No way, there's no way it was."
That lady with really black hair, the mortician.
Yeah, yeah, she thought that was something else, right?
And yeah, does she have black hair? Yeah. Is she beautiful? She didn't have black hair. That was dyed black. So number one, you can't identify the freaking person that way because she didn't have black hair. Because when you're talking to a medical examiner, they know the difference. All the secrets are known to the medical examiner. Whether or not
I probably doubt that anybody is going to be identified over the phone.
Right.
Well, not by just saying, is she beautiful? Does she have black hair? Then you found my daughter. That happens only in movies. Only in movies. Yeah.
Exactly right.
And then, here's the thing is that Dr. Phil then dropped the ball here because he did. I don't know where his episode went. I don't know if it actually ever ran, but look at how much he could have really gleaned here. This could have been.
He isn't the only one. Nancy Grace dropped too. They both did.
Well,
they moved away from it pretty quick, both of them. Yeah.
Was it public? Was it due to what?
I don't know. I don't know why they did. I think they were told.
Well, I got a
backlash.
Interview with. If you look at Dr. Phil's eyes, he's looking kind of like.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He's sitting there, kind of going like, really.
Yeah.
He probably got off that set and said, "Not again."
Yeah.
And kind of, if you listen to when they first went there and she was telling about how her daughter appeared to her and all that stuff, he kind of give him that side eye about that too. So I don't know,
Yeah. Okay. There's my third. Woo.
Well, thank you, ladies. I'm going to get off. Once again, thank you so much for letting me play.
Up.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, I'm thinking it's time to say goodnight, and I'm thinking, wow, what a weird live chat. Because I'm just like, coffin birth, really? And thinking that Christopher Watts, I'm just like, this is how it works. I know it sounds kind of like lame. I guess I'm saying it kind of backwards, but this is how it works.
But if they don't get in any place where they can feel like they can freely asset stuff without getting attacked, then they're not going to know. You know, they're not.
They shut down channels that are, discussing. They've shut down a lot of people over the last 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And they condemn others, they insult others, they lie about others, right? And so people don't know what to think. The chaos and confusion actually works. And in the middle of it all, they're scrubbing the pictures, they're scrubbing the posts, they're scrubbing so much of the information that it's like, whoa, how are people supposed to get the full picture?
Exactly.
That's how it works. Chaos.
Perfect example right here. She went into some place and said something, and they immediately went after her. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And we kind of did because we didn't know who she was, So
I immediately did. I'm like, yeah, right.
Yeah, me too. My guard just gets, my radar goes off pretty quick. Yeah.
And even when she had the guts to come up in the backstage area thing they call it, I wasn't letting her on until I actually saw that it wasn't going to be a moving camera. That was not a nice, welcoming, whatever.
Well, we did. At least we didn't scare her off anyway.
Maybe we could just start right back at the beginning again and just, I don't know, maybe I should label them somehow, like the tutorial 101 or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people don't know those details. She thought for sure she earned that car.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's important to keep going back and highlighting those things because it's so misconstrued out here. I've got into more arguments with people over that stupid car and them saying it was in her. It was not in her name. It was in his name.
Exactly. And any one of the lies, whatever one, pick one, anyone, you have to say, why are they lying?
Yeah.
What are they hiding?
Well, if they don't want to run this picture of her being some big wig in one of these MLMs, is what I think. They don't want they don't want her character damaged. That's the only thing I can figure out because it all seems to stem around anything that has to do with her. They don't care what's done with him or anything else. It's just when you say anything about her,
Right. And that tells me that, whatever the cover up is, it has to do with her.
Yeah.
I just look at it, just standing back and looking at it. If you had Christopher Watts and his wife both listed as suspects in the murders of their children, just start making the list. Why would you think he might? Why would you think she might? Right?
Yeah.
The fact that she died should not have, in my opinion, should not have removed her from the list of suspects.
No, it shouldn't have because the statistics, just the simple statistics of it and everything, it heavily points in her direction and not his. It just does.
If you look at the medical abuse and if you look at the sketchy stories and the lies and the bullshit and, what was Christopher Watts lying about? I don't know. I don't think.
I said, I think everybody keeps saying, you just don't want him. We have a problem with him being in prison. I don't because I think he knows the truth and he's not saying it. And I think part of it, he's beating himself up for not stopping her before the damage was done,
But in their life, in their marriage and whatnot, he's the one who to work every day. He's the one who took care of the kids. He's the one who basically was, I don't know, he was the solid one.
And she herself told that picture of him too. That yeah.
Yeah, and even after the tragedy, even her family was saying how he was solid.
Oh yeah. They couldn't lie. That's one thing they couldn't lie about, that he was a great father and a great husband. Yeah.
I think his father-in-law said something like, "Well, they're saying it on Facebook or something, so he can't lie or something."
Yeah.
He can't lie about it. But they said a lot of good things about him after the tragedy.
Right.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. But they haven't had anything good to say about his family, his mother especially. And that's when warning signs started going off, with alarms. Why attack her so badly, you know? And that was the whole direction, to take the spotlight off of what really went on, and let's put it over here on his mom, you know?
And she was being attacked right from the start. But years later, they say, well, the only reason anyone doesn't like her is because she said bad things. No, she was being attacked before she said a word.
Yeah. Well, she's not said anything for months, as far as I know, and over 2 years, and she's still getting attacked. So I don't know, you know.
Exactly. It's part of the chaos and confusion.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And Mrs. Ben just nailed it, I think. Right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, like I said, I think it's why it's all starting up again. It's because we've been touching on some touchy topics, looking in directions that make sense. You know, the domino, the moving day. You know, we got more stuff that directs it toward that way than anything else. You know, it just does.
And I also think that the people who are attacking us and the people who are behind the people attacking us, they know how few people there really are.
Yes, they do.
Know, because they're the ones using the fake profiles.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there that have a lot of profiles too. Yeah.
Because that's one of the things they want, I think, is for people to think that there are hundreds and thousands, you know, whatever, of people who believe that Christopher Watts is a monster.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if Ronnie and Cindy Watts know it, but I think they probably have a lot more support than they think.
Yeah. Well, they're afraid to trust anybody, and I would be too, you know. It's kind of hard to trust people, you know, when you don't know who to believe and who not to believe, you know.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
We have kind of a trust no one. Look at how I treated that lady.
Yeah. Well, true, you know, but she never said anything before, but she certainly knows a lot. And so I do kind of think she's probably one of these that, like, there are a few people that sat in silence. I did for a long time. I didn't comment on things for a long time when I first got on YouTube and watched things. I just didn't do it. But you know, sometimes you're safer doing that anyway, you know.
Right. I was not a YouTuber at all.
No, me neither. Because if you do, once you do, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. It's just that situation, you know.
They were already attacking me. They were posting really bad videos. That's how I first started being on YouTube. And
yeah, I had never even really heard of you. So,
I was never on YouTube ever. The attackers were using YouTube and Facebook both to do their attacks against me.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I hadn't even heard of the stupid case. But when they started doing those videos that were so terrible, when I realized that, I figured out how to go ahead and make videos, and I just started doing videos on the case because I thought, I don't want someone seeing their stupid videos and
believing it. Yeah.
So I just started doing videos about the case so that people would have the option at least to see that what the bullshit that was being said by the scumbags wasn't true.
Yeah. I don't guess you heard anything back from Natasha, did you?
No, I don't. Well, I can check and see if she. Oh, I think I already went to a different screen. Yeah, I didn't email her. All I did was put it. I can go arrow back because I think I went then to that justice one here. I can see.
Yeah. I was just curious if but you could probably email her, and she may get it that way. But it is I would like to kind of hear what exactly,
Yeah, it'd be interesting
she
to get.
thinks. Yeah.
She is someone who'll say, say right out. She's not afraid of nothing.
Yeah. She's not. Yeah.
Let's see. I'll go for under home and see if there's an email address for her.
Because she used to have it up. She used to have it up all the time and her phone number. So,
it says for business.
Oh.
For business inquiries. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. At some point, I'm yawning.
The snow's get to you. The snow says it's time to hibernate. Yeah.
Yeah. At some point, I'll click on whenever she's live. I'll catch her and say, "Hey, you should come up on my panel and tell us what's going on."
Okay.
She might not though, because I mean, she's bashed me right and left. So whatever.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Brandy says Natasha was pushed out mass reporting. Now they have no content. Yeah, and notice, Brandy, they're still talking about her. Isn't that something?
Yeah, they are still talking about her. Yeah.
Brandy says she can't go live. That's why I was hoping she'd hop up here and she could tell us what happened. But let's do this. Let's go ahead. I'll play our theme song again.
Okay.
And I'm gonna somehow get over the fact that there's snow on the ground. I want to look at the weather report and see how much more of it's coming tonight, because I tell you, this is ridiculous. It's time for me to fly to a sunny climate. So, okay, everyone have a super good night. Thanks for hopping right up, Paula.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. And good night, everybody. It's nice seeing you all again in the chat.
Keep up the good cooking and get that arm and shoulder better.
Okay, thank you. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Okay, let's see here. We'll play our theme song, you guys. And I want y'all to remember, be safe, be healthy, be happy. Don't forget to take your vitamin D. And I want you to always know that you are loved. Oh, here's a commercial for GoDaddy. Here we go. Yeah, okay, I'm going to play our theme song now. Everyone have a great night. And I'm trying to think. We'll see you again. This is Tuesday. Let's try for another live chat. Let's try for another live chat like Friday or Saturday. Have a good rest of the week. Stay safe.
You don't own me. I'm not just one of your many toys. You don't own me. Don't say I can't go with other boys. And don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to say. Please, when I go out with you, don't put me on display. 'Cause you don't own me. Don't try to change me in any way. You don't own me. Don't tie me down, 'cause I'll never see. I don't tell you what to say. I don't tell you what to do. So just let me be myself. That's free to live my life the way I want, to say and do whatever I please. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to say. And please, when I go out with you, don't put me on display. Don't tell you what to say. Don't tell you what to do. Just let me be myself. That's all I ask of you. I'm young, and I love to be young. I'm free, and I love to be free. I'm Melanie. I'm a fun, caring, and goofy person. The doctor said I had a brain tumor. And it was scary, but you can't be sad.
These kids, they don't deserve to have to go through this. My beautiful little redheaded girl has cancer. You don't know what's going to happen.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital works day after day to find cures and save the lives of children with cancer and other life-threatening diseases. Please, become a St. Jude Partner in Hope for only $19 a month.
I hope there's a cure, because all the children here deserve to have a life.
Families never receive a bill from St. Jude for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because all
Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have. Little things I should have said and done, I just never took the time. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Maybe I didn't hold you all those lonely, lonely times. And I guess I never told you I'm so happy that you're mine. If I made you feel second best, girl, I'm so sorry I was blind. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Tell me that was sweet love has mine. Give me one more chance to keep you satisfied. Satisfied. Little things I should have said and done, I just never took the time. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have. Maybe I didn't hold you all those lonely, lonely nights. And I guess I never told you I'm so happy that you're mine. Maybe I